Well, here we go. Welcome to Overcome Words for You by Bruce Etheridge. As I was driving the other day, I pulled up behind a truck that had a sticker attached to the windshield. The sticker said or read, "God bless America." And as I continued driving down the road, I noticed a huge billboard reaching high into the sky. The billboard said or read, "In God we trust." Well, I'm going to get back to you in a few minutes on that one. But first, I want to tell you about something that I remember. I remember the time I was young and the trash needed to be taken out, but I was in bed sleeping when my mother asked me. Well, she actually told me. She told me to get up out of that bed and take that trash out. You see, because she had told me to take it out the night before. I remember groaning and mumbling in rejection. I took my time getting up, fussing and talking back because I didn't want to leave my bed of comfort. My mother was upset at my slowness and my rudeness. And after the encounter, I remember my butt cleaning the bottom of a house shoe. Well, a little time later, my mother informed me of a visiting carnival that had just arrived in town. I needed permission and money to join in the fun with my friends, so I asked my mother for permission and for some cash. She reminded me of my rudeness from earlier and dismissed my request without a second thought. I pouted and I began sulking. Question: have you ever asked for something that you didn't deserve? My request hit a brick wall that day. She refused to grant permission. She refused to provide cash, but she did provide that special disapproving laugh. No matter how much I pleaded, my words fell on deaf ears. It wasn't until I apologized that I sort of got the response that I was looking for. I had to apologize for my past history of rudeness and ask for forgiveness and promise to never make that mistake again. Well, after I apologized to her and after I convinced her that I understood and after I asked for forgiveness with the proper context, things began to get better. Have you ever asked for something that you didn't deserve because of your actions? I'm sure you have. Stay with me now. I'm getting to my point. But I do want to tell you that I was able to get to the carnival and enjoy the cotton candy, the house of mirrors, and the bumper cars, and that fast-moving ride called the Zipper. Not only because I apologized, but that I understood the context. Is there anyone out there that struggles with the context at times? Like that little boy on the Andy Griffith Show, screaming, "I want my bike." The little boy that was riding the bike on the sidewalk, even in the face of his father going to jail. Ooh-wee. Stay focused, coach. Well, anyway, back to my message. Because I apologized and asked for forgiveness and convinced my mother of the lesson that I learned, I was able to enjoy the carnival. Let's take a moment to reflect on the sticker stating, "God bless America." Question: have you ever asked for something that you didn't deserve? Can it be that America is asking for something that it doesn't deserve? Like that little rude boy. Could it be because of America's slowness, rudeness, and hatefulness? America is asking for something that it doesn't deserve. Like that little boy. Can it be that America is pleading for a blessing without acknowledgement of negligent wrongdoings? The American way of praying, asking and begging for a blessing while remaining entrenched in constitutional rights of hate, bigotry, protectionism, rejectionism. We are praying for the right to carry weapons of mass destruction that will ensure destruction. We demand voter registration and not gun registration, and ignore gun education. Well, Sometimes you get what you deserve. We now listen to talking points instead of understanding points. The sticker was asking for God to bless America. Why? Well, there are several ways to resolve conflict. One, you should talk directly, assuming that there is no threat or violence, or talk directly to the person with whom you have a problem with. Direct conversation is much more effective than sending a letter, banging on the wall, or throwing rocks, or even complaining to everyone else. Two, choose a good time, enough time for a thorough discussion. Don't talk about the conflict just as the other person is leaving to make dinner, for an example. Try to talk in a quiet place where you both can be comfortable and undisturbed as long as the discussion takes. 3, plan ahead. Think about what you have to say ahead of time. Explain what your problem is and how it affects you. Don't blame a name call. Antagonizing the other person only makes it harder for him or her to hear you or to understand your concerns. Don't blame the other person for everything or begin the conversation with your opinion or what should be done. Another point, give information. Don't interpret the other person's behavior, such as you're blocking my driveway on purpose and that makes me mad. Instead, give information about your own feelings. When your car blocks my driveway, I get angry because I can't get to work on time. Listen. Give the other person a chance to tell his or her side of the conflict completely. Relax and listen, and try to learn what the other person feels. Show that you're listening, although you may not agree with what's being said. Tell the other person that you hear him or her, and that you're glad to be discussing the problem together. Talk it all the way through. Once you start, get all the issues and the feelings out in the open. Don't leave out the part that seems to be too difficult to discuss or too insignificant to be important. Your solutions will work best if all the issues are discussed thoroughly. When you have reached this point in the discussion, start working on a solution. 2 or more people cooperating are much more effective than one person telling another to change. Be specific. Follow through. Agree to check in with each other on specific times to make sure that the agreement is still working. Then really do it. Well, I have a question for you. How does God tell us to handle conflict? Our Heavenly Father's Word tells us He expects several things from us in regards to conflict resolution. The things that He expects is humility, forgiveness, love, and action. What are the 7 steps of resolving conflict according to the Bible? First, you must surrender to Jesus. And 2, humble yourself. 3, go towards conflict and not away. And 4, be quick to listen. 5, take responsibility for your part and apologize. 6, speak the truth in love. Ephesians 4:15, forgive freely. And 7, make restitution. It's the American citizens that deserve the blessings of change, not the American profiteers. Faith is not getting something from God, but faith is getting us closer to God. And as I continue to drive, I noticed on the huge billboard lifted high in the sky stating, "In God we trust." "In God we trust" was scribbled high on the billboard. I have a question for you today. Are we trusting God to grant or give us something that we don't deserve? I hope not. If so, the good old days of going to the carnival to enjoy the cotton candy, the bumper rides, and the other rides will soon be gone. Although the House of Mirrors will remain in place forever. Faith is not getting something from God, but faith is getting us closer to God. Much has been taken and stolen. Many have been locked up or locked out. Our history, traditions, names, religions, and language. Our history is being distorted from a his story to a they are just pissed story. Our traditions of names, braids, and beads require that many remain in check or you don't get a check. Religious persecution and persecuting religions. Evangelicals is just another word for the entrenched hate hiding behind an upside-down Bible. Language and terms to alert discrimination. rushed, cut and paste in the Webster's Political Dictionary to hide the hate and protect the false faith. To be woke is to be alert. I'm now wide awoke to the politicians and the Americans dozing on sleeping pills.